boy down in Alabama, there was something that I loved to eat. We'd start with a homegrown tomato and make a sandwich that couldn't be beat. We'd take a little white bread, some called it light bread, lay a little mayonnaise on, and if you made it just right when you took a bite, it was better than an old T-bone. Well, a few months back I was wanting a sandwich like I had when I was a little boy. So I jumped in the seat of my beat-up Jeep and I headed to the grocery store. I came home and made that sandwich. I bowed my head and thanked the Lord. But when I took a bite, something wasn't right. It tasted like wet cardboard. What happened to tomatoes beats all I've ever seen. The ones you buy in the store are red, still taste green. What happened to tomatoes? Does anybody know? They're probably genetically altered in a scientific laboratory 85 feet below in a bunker in the middle of the desert somewhere in New Mexico. Well, I thought I'll just start my own garden, have those juicy tomatoes homegrown. So I went and bought a brand new tiller and a trailer to haul it on. Then the man at the garden center said, "Boy, to grow 'em right, you can't be a miser. You need a state-of-the-art irrigation system with the very best fertilizer." So I bought calcium, magnesium, potassium, and more. I bought gardening gloves, gardening tools. Well, I bought half the store. I even bought a high-voltage electric fence. They said it'd make a grizzly bear holler, and then the cashier said that'll be $6,789. What's happened to tomatoes? Well, I do declare, I didn't know to have a garden, you gotta be a millionaire. What's happened to tomatoes? One thing I know, I'm not gonna eat the ones grown in a scientific laboratory 85 feet below in a bunker in the middle of the desert somewhere in New Mexico. Well, I took care of those plants all summer, waiting for those tomatoes to be ripe. I watered, weeded, prayed, pleaded for everything to turn out right. The day finally arrived, I was so excited to have the sandwich I was dreaming about. But when I walked outside, birds started to fly. The crows had cleaned me out, except for one. There it hung, so beautiful and red. I ran back inside with tears in my eyes, grabbed some mayonnaise and a loaf of bread. I ran back to the garden as the neighbors were hollering, "Tim, what's happening, by the way?" I said, "I'm gonna have me a $6,789 tomato sandwich today." And I'm not lying. I pulled it from the vine and made that sandwich right then and there. My ankle was just an inch from that electric fence, but I didn't care. But I started to care when I touched it. Sparks were flying, I could feel the heat. And then that tomato shot out of that mayonnaise like a rocket and plopped on the ground at my feet. What's happened to my ankles beats all I've ever seen. 'Cause now they're black and blue and red and just a little green. And what happened to my tomatoes? Well, the crows know. So I'll keep eating the ones grown in a scientific laboratory 85 feet below in a bunker in the middle of the desert somewhere in New Mexico. Don't laugh, I need skin grafts in the middle of the desert somewhere in New Mexico. Never say never or you'll end up eating crow. I have just one question. What in the world has happened to our tomatoes? My.